Hey guys, John V here from Phone Arena. Right now you're watching our video review of the SuperTooth Disco Twin. Now this is a slightly different version of the SuperTooth Disco 2, which we checked out last year. This time around though, it comes in a pair of Bluetooth speakers, so you pay $200 to get both of them. So it features left and right stereo support. Is it a cool thing? Kind of gimmicky? We're going to find out in this review right now. So we know what you're thinking, it's a new year, so it's a new design, right? Well, that's not the case here with the SuperTooth Disco Twin. In fact, it's an exact facsimile to the SuperTooth Disco 2 released last year by SuperTooth. So there's nothing different with the design whatsoever. Now, unfortunately, we'd like to see an update slightly, but regardless of that, it still has a very nice modern design. It has the outlines of similar to a vase, so it has a very modernistic look to it. On top of that, it's fairly nice with its build quality, constructed out of plastic all around, pretty sturdy, and there's a noticeable amount of weight with it. And of course, as its name implies, instead of getting one speaker, you get two. On the facade, we have the speaker grill right here. It's a fabric type material, and hidden behind it, there are actually two speakers that produce a total of 16 watts of power. But considering that we have two speakers to deal with this time around, it gives us a total power output of actually 32 watts. Just like before, we have the same set of physical buttons. The playback controls up on top. Most of them are actually flush to the surface, whereas the power button is actually more recessed. So even though it might be a little bit indistinct to the touch, they have a really nice springy response when you press them down, and they have a really nice backlighting to them. And finally, in the bottom back corner of the two speakers, we have some of their inputs here. You have the dedicated audio in jack, so you could connect the device wired to it instead of Bluetooth. You have the LED notification light right there. And finally, you have the proprietary charging port. The pairing process is pretty simple here with the SuperTooth Disco Twin. We managed to connect it both via Bluetooth to a Samsung Galaxy S3 and an Apple iPhone 5. No problems whatsoever in that case, and even managed to maintain a connection up to 35 feet away. Now, as I said earlier, the unique thing about the SuperTooth Disco Twin is that it features stereo support. So basically what happens when you power on the first one, it's going to announce it's getting turned on. And of course, you could do the second one too, turn on.
Hello.
And then once connected, you'll hear a prompt saying which one's left and which one is right.
Left. Right.
Of course, it's really neat that you're going to get a speaker that's one for the left side and one for the right side. So if you're in a big room and you place these two speakers far away from one another, you kind of really get more pronounced stereo effect with it, which is great. It also depends on the type of song you're listening to, of course. Now, as far as audio quality, we got to say it doesn't really differentiate from last year's model with the SuperTooth Disco 2. Instead, this time around, of course, the volume output is stronger because you get two speakers instead of one. Of course, 32 watts of power versus 16 before. There's no brainer about that. You're going to get just a stronger volume output. Now, at the lattice volume setting, we got to say it does sound just a little bit strained at times. So the middle to mid-high settings most optimal. You get a nice balanced tone with its output, and of course, it's accompanied with a nice bass kick to it as well. Now, there are only two annoyances that we find with the SuperTooth Disco Twin. They're not really major, but for some people, it might prove to be more than annoying than anything else. First and foremost, we do hear just a little bit of a static tone in the background with its output. It's not really prominent. It's only noticeable when you're playing very low-tone music or just nothing at all. But the more pressing issue is just the latency issue that we find with the speakers. For example, if you're typing something in the keyboard, when you press something, you normally would hear the clicking sound right away to accompany the taps. But there is just like a 1 second delay with its operation. So here, real quick, we're going to show you that. So you can see, especially if I type faster, you just notice that it's just lagging just a little bit. We're pretty happy with the battery life out of the SuperTooth Disco Twin. In fact, with our normal usage, we're able to get a little bit over 7 hours with a full charge, which is pretty good. Depends on, of course, how strong the volume is going to be, but 7 hours is not that bad at all. Once it's dead, though, if one of them loses juice before the other, they both just stop working inexplicably, and then you have to charge them with their separate wall chargers. It'd be nice to see some sort of on-screen notification indicating how much battery is left, but there's no way of actually seeing that until it's too late. Unless you're really adamant about getting a very pronounced stereo sound effect with your speaker, it's a really tough call picking up the SuperTooth Disco Twin. Now it's priced at $200, and of course you can get 2 speakers, but we were hoping to see just some sort of price break, because this is essentially the SuperTooth Disco 2 from last year, but instead of just one single speaker, which was priced at $100 when it was launched, you get 2 for, of course, $200. There's nothing really different about it except for the fact that it has stereo sound support with the 2 speakers you get. And beyond that, pretty much everything else is identical, from its design to its audio output and audio quality, except for the volume output, of course. Everything is pretty much identical to its predecessor, so not a whole lot going on in terms of upgraded features. So if you'd like to learn more about the SuperTooth Disco Twin, guys, you could check out our website, phonearena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.